A huge part of improving your mental health actually comes from learning how to deal with your thoughts. There's a phrase which I really like, and it's that you are not your thoughts. When I was 21 years old, imagine I'm there in my apartment and I'm just sat on the computer chair, just mindlessly watching random videos, and I've got junk food around me. I reach over and start smoking weed, and I just feel so depressed. And I feel the same thing about to happen, where I feel like this barrage of negative thoughts are just arising, and I'm trying to push them down. I'm trying not to think like, negatively, that I hate my life, but it happens. And I have all these negative thoughts in my mind. I'm thinking about like, I haven't spoke to my parents for a year. I'm living like a degenerate. I've just spent money on weed and junk food again, even though I'm broken. It just feels awful to be in my own mind. This was the biggest pain of my sort of mental health journey, was having what's called intrusive thoughts of pure like negativity, conflict, and pessimism. It was only when I realized that you are not your thoughts. You are the one who hears them. And if you are the listener, if you try and push down the thoughts, you actually make them worse. You know this already. So the way to overcome like your monkey mind, the way to overcome these intrusive thoughts, the negative thoughts that arise, is not to push them down, but to do something completely different. It's to label them. If you simply just label whatever thought comes up as, I'm having an anxious thought. Oh, that's just a pessimistic thought. That's an angry thought. Just that, it seems so simple, but just doing that and saying it in your mind has such a huge impact. Through my worst moments of anxiety, depression, labeling is what really, really helped me. I've almost this is something I don't actually speak about much on my channel because it's not really in my mind, but I've almost forgotten of what it used to be like to really have like bad mental health and have these intrusive thoughts. And I used to be so anxious. I could barely go outside without really getting agitated, thinking that I was going to be hurt by someone. I remember around that time, it was when I discovered labeling, and I did something interesting that you might want to copy. I got myself like a label buddy. So let's say I'm going into the gym and I'd get this, this barrage of anxious, negative thoughts. That guy over there is on steroids. He's bigger than me. I'll fight him anyway. And this and this. That guy is there. He's probably racist and he's going to think this about me, like just feeling really negative. I would label it as like, I've got negative thoughts. I'm feeling anxious. And then what I'd do is I'd go and message a friend of mine who was also using the labeling practice. And I'd message him telling him what I just labeled. And he was quite active on his phone, so he would reply back quite quickly and say like, oh, well done, Hamza. That's awesome that you've done that. I remember that period of my life actually transforming and me feeling a lot less anxious from around that point up until now. And this is, it's so important that you can create the safe space in your own mind, because this is the only place, like this is your home 24/7 is your own mind. But if your own mind is chatting shit about you and it's constantly saying things which aren't even rational, it's going to be very hard for you to have like good mental health.